What if the single biggest obstacle between you and a life of wealth isn't the economy, it isn't your boss, and it isn't a lack of opportunity? What if it's the one thing you rely on for every single decision? Your own brain. It sounds harsh, but here's the truth: your brain is a masterpiece of engineering, for survival, not for success. It's designed to keep you safe, to conserve energy, and to stick to what's familiar. And for most of us, what's familiar is struggle. What's familiar is scarcity. It operates on a kind of default programming, a factory setting that was coded by thousands of years of avoiding danger. The problem is, in the modern world, this programming translates into avoiding risk, fearing failure, and rejecting opportunities that feel uncertain. It's the reason you can feel a surge of motivation one day, only to have it vanish the next. It's not a character flaw. It's a design feature. You're trying to build an empire with blueprints made for a bunker. If you're searching for the keys to unlock wealth and freedom, you're in the right place. Let's open the vault. Because this internal resistance, this invisible wall you keep hitting, it all starts with one subtle, deceptive mental trap. A trap that the wealthy learned to spot and disable long ago. Modern psychology calls it the certainty trap, and chances are, it's running your life right now. So, what is this certainty trap? It's your brain's addiction to a guaranteed outcome. From an evolutionary standpoint, it makes perfect sense. Our ancestors survived by choosing the certain path, the familiar berry bush over the strange new one, the known cave over the mysterious valley. Uncertainty could mean death. Today, that same wiring translates into a deep, subconscious fear of the unknown, especially with money. This craving for certainty is your brain's safety mechanism in overdrive. It's the voice that whispers, "Stay with the job you hate, at least it pays the bills." Or, "Don't invest that money, you could lose everything." It's the voice of survival. But the rich understand a fundamental secret: survival and abundance are two entirely different games. A mind trapped by certainty will always choose a guaranteed $50 today over a potential $5,000 next month. It prioritizes not losing over the possibility of winning big. This is why people stay in dead-end jobs for decades. The misery is certain, but so is the paycheck. The rich, on the other hand, have trained their brains to do the opposite. They don't have a magic ability to predict the future. They have simply developed a high tolerance for ambiguity. They've learned to replace the need for certainty with a powerful belief in their own ability to adapt, solve problems, and navigate the unknown. They find excitement where your brain finds fear. But this isn't a genetic trait they're born with. It's a mental muscle. And the first step to building it is learning how to flip a single switch in your mind, turning your fear of the unknown into your greatest advantage. So, how do you flip that switch? How do you train your brain to see opportunity where it currently sees danger? You start by changing the way you define risk. Your brain, in its effort to keep you safe, treats all uncertainty as a threat. But the wealthy have taught their brains to distinguish between two very different kinds of risk. There's foolish risk, and then there's what's called asymmetric risk. This is a situation where the potential upside, the reward, is vastly greater than the potential downside. Think of it this way. Buying a luxury car you can't afford on credit is a foolish risk. The downside is huge: debt, stress, depreciation. The upside is small: temporary comfort and status. Now, consider using that same monthly payment to instead buy a few books on sales, or an online course on coding. What's your maximum loss? A few $100s and some of your time. But what's the potential gain? A single idea from one of those books could change your career, launch a business, or make you millions. The upside is virtually unlimited. Your brain sees both as spending money. But one is a trap. The other is a launch pad. The wealthy don't just earn more, they are masters at spotting these opportunities. So how do you start seeing them, too? You start small. You make small bets. Dedicate a tiny fraction of your resources, maybe 5% of your free time or disposable income, to exploring these asymmetric opportunities. Instead of an hour of Netflix, spend it learning a high-income skill. Instead of buying another thing you don't need, use that money to start a micro-investment. The key is to make the downside so small that your brain barely registers it as a threat. But doing this consistently requires you to overcome a second, deeper mental barrier, a hidden script that dictates what you subconsciously believe you are worth. It's called the identity ceiling, and if you don't learn how to shatter it, even the greatest opportunities will feel like they belong to someone else. So, what is this identity ceiling? It's the invisible boundary of what you believe is possible for you. It's the story you've been telling yourself for years about who you are. I'm a hard worker. I'm just not good with money. People like me don't get rich. Your brain loves this identity. Why? Because it's predictable. It provides a stable, consistent script for how to act and what to expect from the world. Any goal or opportunity that falls outside of this script feels foreign, uncomfortable, even threatening. This is the root of imposter syndrome. It's why you hesitate to apply for that high-paying job. It feels like a role written for a different actor. The most powerful example of this? Lottery winners who go bankrupt. Their external reality changed overnight, but their internal identity did not. They still had the mindset, habits, and self-image of a poor person. Their brain, facing this massive conflict between their identity and their new reality, subconsciously gets to work correcting the error. Through reckless spending and bad decisions, it pulls them right back down to the financial level that matches their internal blueprint. So the critical question is, what does your internal identity say about money? Do you feel a flash of discomfort when you think about being wealthy? Do you believe, deep down, that you have to struggle to earn a living? That is your identity ceiling. And it's the force that will stop you from making those small bets we talked about, because a part of you doesn't believe you deserve the winnings. But you can't just wake up and decide to have a new identity. Your subconscious mind won't believe you. You have to provide it with undeniable proof. Thankfully, there's a psychological technique, a method championed by Napoleon Hill himself, designed to do exactly that. It's about creating your future reality so vividly, that your brain starts to accept it as the present truth. The technique is a form of what Napoleon Hill called autosuggestion. But you can think of it as mental rehearsal. It's the process of living in your desired future, in your mind, with such clarity and emotion that your brain begins to accept it as your current reality. Here's why this isn't just wishful thinking. Your brain has trouble distinguishing between a real memory and a vividly imagined experience. When you mentally rehearse your success, you are literally creating new neural pathways. You are generating the genuine emotions of confidence, security, and achievement. By doing this repeatedly, you are upgrading your identity. You're not faking it till you make it. You are rehearsing it until you become it. So how do you do it? First, get specific. Don't just vaguely imagine being rich. Script a specific scene. See yourself in your future office, making a high-stakes decision with calm confidence. What does the room smell like? What are you wearing? Feel the weight of the pen in your hand as you sign the successful contract. Second, and this is the crucial part, feel the emotion. Don't just watch the scene like a movie. Live it. Feel the surge of pride, the sense of accomplishment, the deep feeling of security. Emotion is the glue that makes the rehearsal stick in your subconscious mind. When you do this consistently, something remarkable happens. Your brain's internal filter, the reticular activating system, gets a new set of instructions. It stops scanning your world for evidence that confirms your old, poor identity, and starts relentlessly searching for the people, opportunities, and ideas that match your new, wealthy one. This mental rehearsal is the blueprint. But a blueprint alone has never built a skyscraper. The next step is to take this newly formed identity out of your mind and put it into action. And that means we have to confront the brain's most powerful agent of self-sabotage, the paralyzing force of inertia. So you've started to spot opportunities. You've been mentally rehearsing your success. But then the moment comes to actually do something, and a powerful force takes over. Procrastination. Doubt. A sudden feeling of exhaustion. This is inertia. It's the brain's deep, physical resistance to leaving its comfortable, energy-saving loops. Your brain loves habits, even bad ones, because they're automated. They require almost zero energy. Starting a new action, on the other hand, fires up the most energy-intensive part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. To conserve fuel, your brain will do anything to avoid this. It will tell you you're too tired, that you'll start tomorrow, that you need to think about it more. And this is where it sets its most clever trap, the belief that you need to feel motivated before you take action. That is a lie. The wealthy understand a secret that defies conventional wisdom: motivation is not the cause of action. It is the effect. You don't think your way into a new life. You act your way into it. So how do you generate action when you feel zero motivation? You make the action so small, so ridiculously easy, that your brain doesn't have a reason to fight it. This is the 2-minute rule. Whatever the goal, shrink it down to the first 2 minutes. Start a new online business becomes spend 2 minutes Googling domain names. Read a book a week becomes read the first page. Go to the gym every day becomes put on your workout clothes. The point isn't the 2 minutes of work. The point is to master the art of starting. Because every time you take that tiny action, you are casting a physical vote for your new identity. You are taking the blueprint from your mind, and you are laying the very first brick. When you combine this relentless starting with a mind that seeks opportunity and an identity built for wealth, you create an unstoppable feedback loop. And that is the secret. It's not one single trick. It's a powerful feedback loop. You use mental rehearsal to build a new identity. That new identity allows you to see the opportunities, the asymmetric risks, that were invisible to you before. You use the 2-minute rule to take a tiny, consistent action on those opportunities. And that action, no matter how small, provides real-world proof to your brain that this new identity is real. That small win strengthens your belief. Which makes your next mental rehearsal even more vivid. Which makes the next opportunity even clearer, and the next action even easier to take. This is how momentum is built. This is how the rich compound not just their money, but their mindset. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's the most powerful tool in the universe, but it's been running on outdated software. A program designed for mere survival. Thinking like the rich is the process of installing an upgrade. It's about learning to embrace calculated uncertainty instead of fearing it. It's about consciously building an identity that can hold the weight of success. And it's about understanding that small, consistent actions are infinitely more powerful than waiting for one grand moment of motivation. You are the programmer. The reality you experience is not an accident, it's the result of the code you run. This is one key, but if you want the whole vault, subscribe to Master Key for more insights that unlock your potential. Now, go. Start a new conversation with your brain today.